Alright guys, in this video I'm going to be showing you all how to remove and flip a cutting edge and reinstall it. This is the same process if you're going to replace the cutting edge. It's just held on by nuts and bolts. But in this case, I'm going to be flipping it because the second side of the cutting edge is still good. Most cutting edges have two sides on them, so you can flip them. For double life, I would recommend replacing the hardware. It's just easier. The bolts get chewed up, and it's pretty tough to reuse them. That being said, I'm going to show you three different methods on how to get the hardware off. The primary method is to use a socket on an impact gun. And usually it's a Allen key on the back side. This method is probably the most effective and quickest, but you do have to dig out the Allen key holes, which can be a pain. Sometimes they get gummed up. The second method is to use a grinder, and that is the slowest part of it, but some people that's all they have. And the final method is to use a torch. This happens a lot when the fasteners get bugged up and won't come out. So let's get started, and hope you guys enjoy. Alright guys, first method here is to use a socket on an impact gun and an Allen key. For this one, it is a size 10 Allen key. You can see the head right there. You just put it in. I'm demonstrating to you. Now guys, one thing with these, you got to be really careful. A lot of people will use their hands and try to grab these bolts when they start to come out. Do not do that. They can be damaged and burred, and they'll rip right through your gloves and into your hands. So whatever you do, do not grab them by your hands. Either use the Allen key, or if you can get it down enough, sometimes depending on the style, you can use vice grips, but never ever grab onto them with your hand. But this is a pretty simple process. The hardest part of it is to dig out the bolt head, so you can get the Allen key in. You can see me doing it with my pocket screwdriver right now. A little bit of a pain, but this is the usual method. Alright guys, next I'll show you the cutoff wheel method with the angle grinder. This is the least effective of any of them, but some people, this is all you have. It takes quite a while to cut through the bolt. I actually had to get a new blade too, but this is the next method. I just do one bolt just to show you how long it takes. Had to swap blades and we'll finish off this cut. Super slow process, guys. Took me a few minutes to do that with the grinder, but now we're going to move back to the socket, and then we'll finish it off with torching the last bolt. Alright guys, now for the last bolt, I'm going to torch it off. Reason why I'm going to torch it off is from the aspect of safety, because when you release that last bolt, this cutting edge is going to fall with gravity, obviously. So I want no chance of any part of me or something, my tool or anything, being underneath that when it falls. So I just cut it off with either a torch or a cutoff wheel, depending what I have, and then let it fall, and then we'll spin it around. From a safety standpoint too, guys, make sure when you do this that you always put stuff underneath the bucket to support the hydraulics. You can see on both sides, I have got cribbage on both sides of the bucket, and then I have cribbage in front to catch the cutting edge when it falls. Don't ever do this with suspended hydraulics, just from a safety standpoint in general, but especially for this, always support yourself and protect yourself. Guys, when you're using the torch, make sure you don't forget to angle the cutting power away from the bucket. It'll cut right into the bucket and damage it. So make sure you take into account the angle that you're cutting at. The worst case scenario, if you are afraid you're going to damage the bucket, if you cut it off mostly, you can hammer it out. Alright guys, we'll get this cutting edge flipped around, and then we'll use the floor jack to hoist it right up into position nice and easy. We'll put the new bolts in and it'll be done. I have a downed machine right in the way of my jack arm, so it's taking me forever to jack it up. Alright guys, putting all the new bolts and nuts on. I like to start on the outsides. I like to get them all in lightly just to hold it, and then I'll start sending them in with the impact. Alright guys, just going to send the rest of these home, and then we will be done with this cutting edge. Alright guys, cutting edge has been flipped, unit's ready to go back on rent. Guys, if you're doing cutting edges, it is the same across the industry regardless of bucket or manufacturer. It is simply a piece of protective steel that's bolted on to protect the actual bucket. But guys, if you're doing it, always be safe. Don't forget to account for gravity and any other hazards. And guys, that sums it up. If you enjoyed this video, guys, please shoot me a like and a subscribe. If you have any comments or questions, please don't hesitate to throw them in the comment section, and stay tuned for more content. Thanks, guys.